Whew, this week's episode of One Piece. Boy, was it heavy. I mean, really heavy. It was just a lot of emotional burdens and just some very dark stuff that can cause nightmares. We continue the story from last week's Don Flamingo taking over Dressrossa. We're going to see Violet, 10 years ago. I believe she looks like maybe she's 18, 19, just barely about her 20s. Or maybe she looks like she's already a teenager. So, yeah, somewhere around that age range. She's still looking hot. And then we get all these horrifying images of Don Flamingo just controlling everyone. The soldiers pretty much mindlessly walking like zombies and just killing everyone with tears running down their eyes. And everyone screaming in pain and agony. And, good God, the imagery in this was so much more powerful. I mean, when I read this in the manga, I thought it was horrible enough, just the very act alone, taking over people and forcing them to kill innocent civilians. And who knows, maybe they even had them kill their own families. God, Don Flamingo, you evil bastard. But now seeing it in anime form, it is so much more impactful. The visuals are just horrifying. The fire, the red, the dark shadows over everyone's faces, like they're no longer people, they're just these mindless drones, and they have no choice in what they're doing, and that's terrifying. I mean, to have your body go out and kill people while it's like you're stuck in your own body, you're trapped in your own body, it's your prison. You see what's going on, but you have no control over what you're doing. You're just out there, God knows doing what, and it's a terrifying thought. But anyway, Monet opens the palace doors, lets the rest of the Don Quixote pirates in. They take over, just destroy everyone. And it's good to see the whole gang right there, except we don't see a very clear image of Treble, Pika, and Diamante, which is weird. I don't know why they're putting them in shadows now, because we pretty much already clearly seen Diamante and Treble. Maybe it was just the shadows just for Pika, but I don't know. Pika looks like you can already tell what he's going to look like. The shadows didn't protect him very much. So again, there was no point. Maybe it was just to emphasize these towering figures as a threat. And I do like how there's a bit of a resemblance to Don Flamingo's plan in taking over Dressrosa and Jinbei's plan of making the Straw Hats look as heroes to the fishmen. And it's just like, well, let's wait and wait until they themselves want someone to come save them. The people themselves want to take down this dictator, supposed dictator. Now, it's true that the opponent in Fishman was legit. He was an evil bastard. Everyone knew that, and they just wanted someone to take him down. But in this case, it's a good king, and all of a sudden he's evil. But they're still being manipulated to call the people, and the first people to come in and save them as heroes. They're not going to question, what's their motive. There's oh shit, without them we would have just been killed right here on the spot. Let's just call them heroes immediately. They were desperate. But still, I'm guessing even after that, some people were questioning it, thank you for saving us, but why? What are you doing here? And why are you asking us to immediately put you as a ruler of this country? And I'm guessing those are the people that were turned to toys. Because it's later this episode, it's revealed that just anyone and everyone were turned to toys. And I'm assuming those are the people who went against Don Flamingo. So maybe those are the people who actually legitimately questioned his motives. So it's good to know that there were still some civilians that didn't immediately fall for it, his actions. It's oh, he's a hero immediately. No, he's still a pirate. We have to question this. But okay, they're toys now, and even that's terrifying. I mean, one of the toys was saying, "Get away from my wife," and I'm assuming that now he has to sit there constantly by her side, her never knowing that's her husband. And she's maybe shacking up with some other guy, possibly even marrying him and even having his kids. I mean, it's been 10 years. I mean, the very thought, that itself is terrifying. This is awful. I mean, God. Dressrossa is the worst spot ever. I mean, now I'm thinking about how recently the New World technically hasn't seemed as the most dangerous place. You know, the seas are still calm some days, and some islands actually look very beautiful. But maybe it's not the actual environment that's dangerous, but maybe the people who inhabit the islands. Because now look at Dressrossa. It's, when you actually do know what's going on behind the scenes, it's the worst place you can possibly live at. Now, granted, before it was ruled by a nice family and everything, yada yada yada, but still, I mean, as it is now, it's a terrifying place. It's a nightmare, and possibly even worse than Thriller Bark. Thriller Bark had the environment and the theme and everything, like the fog, the darkness, the shadows, all of the zombies, all of that. But emotionally and mentally, it was still relatively safe. Like, whatever, just beat up the zombies, beat up the people who created zombies, boom, done. But this is like, you can forget your friends, you can forget your family, and even you can forget everything that's happened. Like, all your memories just erased. You don't even know how you got there, how it came to be. Just, that's the way life's always been, and that's just terrifying. And I did notice, I liked when Robin got extremely mad at Don Flamingo when she heard that Violet actually offered her obedience to let the rest of her family go. Like, Violet already had her clairvoyance power. Told Don Flamingo was interested. Like, that's a good power. I would like that. And she said, "Well, I'll work for you for the rest of my life if you let the rest of my family go and do not hurt them in any way." And Don Flamingo kept his word. Apparently, you know, King Rico's still alive. Rebecca's still alive. Although Rebecca's mom is not alive, she's dead. So maybe it was only for King Rico. Who knows? And immediately I noticed Robin got extremely angry at Don Flamingo, because the same way Violet offered her own life to Don Flamingo to save her family, Robin sacrificed her life to save her friends, you know, the rest of the Straw Hats. And I like that little parallel they got there. And that was very interesting. I like seeing Robin really get invested in for once. Because usually, as things went on now, she never actually got angry at the villain in any recent arc. In fact, not since you know, other than Skypiea and Enies Lobby, really, she hasn't really gotten mad at any of the villains at all. And I'm glad to see that come back again. And I do like how the biggest joke, and possibly the only joke throughout this whole episode, was at the very end, where the toy soldier and all the tontados are saying, this morning we were so happy when we heard that Don Flamingo was gonna abdicate the throne, but then to find out it was false, it just pissed them off. Or it just put them over the edge. And just initially they said, screw it, we're done waiting. This is the final straw. This is Don Flamingo actually challenging us. We're gonna take him down now. And I like how Usa, Frankie, and even Robin all had this face of shock, of like, oh, we're so sorry. This was our fault. We're the ones who forced him to throw away his throne, and he didn't keep his word. But still, they're the ones who brought up the subject of abdicating the throne and giving these people hope. And it's just like, oh. That was hilarious. Especially Robin's like, oh my gosh, she's joining into the shock. Finally, something got to her. And I guess it was guilt. Just make her feel guilty anytime we want to see her have a comedic FaceTiming like the rest of the crew. And finally, Luffy finally meets up with Zoro after, I think, like 3 or 4 episodes. It's like, God, that must be the longest finding of someone in any anime. But yeah, definitely, like, first half, nothing but nightmares and horrors, and second half was just reinforcing that, you know, this is the plan. We're gonna take down Don Flamingo, you know, and that's pretty much it. I mean, it was everything else. This was a great episode. I liked it. And Don Flamingo is definitely a cruel bastard. Yeah, he's probably the worst villain we've seen so far. And I honestly can't wait to see him defeated. And it still looks like it's gonna be a while away. So until then, I'm Tony Dragon. Bye bye.